only you could see. Don't you know that you're beautiful, just the way you are, just the way you came. Don't you know that you're beautiful, no matter what the scars, no matter what they say. And we'll shout it out louder, prouder. Ain't no one gonna hold us down, 'cause you know that we're beautiful, just the way we are. Don't let them sell you all of their dirt. It all will come back once the tables turn. Bolder, go bolder. Now set your sails on high. And you're stronger, much stronger than they will ever be. Don't you know that you're beautiful, just the way you are, just the way you came. Don't you know that you're beautiful, no matter what the scars, no matter what they say. And we'll shout it out louder, prouder. Ain't no one gonna hold us down, 'cause you know that we're beautiful, just the way we are. We're beautiful. So don't go changing. You're perfect as you are, just the way you are. Keep on shining. You're perfect as you are, just the way you are. Don't you know that you're beautiful, just the way you are, just the way you came. Don't you know that you're beautiful, no matter what the scars, no matter what they say. And we'll shout it out louder, prouder. Ain't no one gonna hold us down, 'cause you know that we're beautiful, just the way we are, just the way you are, oh, just the way you are. Every change has a reason, baby, let it come to you. Every soul, every season lives outside of status quo. If we stop believing we're meant to be, expanding our abilities. If the passion's gone, we are doing it wrong. Baby, you and I should start living
Friday Q&A day, and we thought we'd give you a little behind the scenes action as well. This is not a final behind the scenes video by any means. We still have a lot of other stuff coming up. In terms of like the studio stuff, we're not nearly done, but we'll show you a little bit about what we've done and changed already in the setup process. Things are still rough, so just bear with me until we get the studio finalized. Things are not gonna be like perfect for by any means. I barely have anything set up software wise. I was able to get a few things in this morning, but it has been a hectic week as well around here. This year, just in general around here, has been hectic. There's got to be a better word for it, but it has been busy. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up over the next few months. We're going to take you behind the scenes on all of that. And okay, so today's Q&A. So I'm going to start by doing some like little behind the scenes action. But before we do that, I just want to give you the rules, the lay of the land. If you've never been here, please do type new in the comments. I would love to meet you. You can ask questions about anything live streaming related or video related, being on camera, content questions, audience growth questions, tech questions, you name it, whatever it is that you want to ask. Real quick, two things that I've noticed in this new studio. This morning when I was setting up, I had to go order some desk monitors, speakers, because I'm used to like the iMac, right, which has great speakers on it, and now we're using the two Mac Minis that are mounted under the desk on the other end of me, and Callie and I were like really awkward during the countdown timer because we can't hear anything. We're like, what's the beat? I can't hear that. So it is, I had to order some desk speakers, so those will come in on Monday. So next week I'll actually be able to hear the music and it won't be as awkward. Hello, Reyes. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody, if you're, I don't know what that means, Ryan. I don't know what that means. No, Bob, it means you're welcomed back. Yes, I am at 60 frames per second. Let me adjust the comment here. Okay, that is so fantastic. Not a question, but all areas of my business have improved since EYR, onward and upward. Congratulations, massive, congrats to you. I don't have a better word. All right. There are just some basic speakers. I wanted something thin. I'll show them to you when I get them in. But I wanted something thin in order to not take up desk space. So let me go ahead and ask your questions. Get those in the queue. Super chats do take priority. However, before we start answering questions, what I'm going to do is have Callie come in and show you a couple of things, because there's one thing I'm noticing today that wasn't this way last week, and I feel like I'm in a cave. I'll show you why. Hello. Oh, you're watching replays this weekend. Fantastic. Love it. All right, you ready? All right. So this is something new that we did. This is our chat monitor, and it's beside the prompter here. It was over here. If you saw it last week, it was actually here. And sorry, we're using NDI, which does not work well in my studio. But we'll get that fixed for next time. Anyway, so it's a little rough. My apologies. My apologies. So the chat monitor was supposed to kind of be here, but it was way too awkward to kind of move from here to here to see chat. So this will be the chat monitor. And I have to say, it feels like I'm having echo. Like, so talk. Come here and talk.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's so weird. I'm like, all right, we just lost signal.
Oh, because your battery thing came up.
I don't know why my battery's not. Anyway. Okay, so keep asking those questions. I'm coming back to questions. We're just doing a little quick behind the scenes. Are you ready?
Let me do it, yeah. Does this turn off on its own? Is that why?
Shouldn't.
Oh, it did.
Is it fully plugged in?
Yeah.
Maybe it's dead. All things are dead. All right, we're gonna do this quickly. So then we have my main monitor here, which I can kind of just push back when I'm not using it. That way I have this wall of monitors here. This is my screen share monitor. Of course, the Rodecaster Pro. We've got duplicate stream decks. We've got duplicate keyboards. We've got the Black Magic Mini. You okay, baby? And then this is where I typically will put my computer, and this is just my workstation. So from here over is just my workstation. We've got a second camera here, both monitors. If you look under here, you'll see some switchers. I've got a switcher here and a switcher over here, and that will allow me to control which feed is coming into the prompters. So it's going to be very, very interesting around here. The cables, I don't know where the cables is a little insane. Obviously, we are not done. We've got four splitters back there. And then the two Mac Minis. So there is a lot going on in this new studio. The Caldigit is sitting there as it keeps falling off, so we're gonna have to mount it differently. And I've also got another hub that's coming in as well. So yeah, there's, it's all good, Callie. So a lot going on, a lot still to do in the studio, but it is going to rock once it's all put together. Hold on, when I'm live, I have to move this monitor in. Is this also the desk you work from? So I don't edit, but what I do is just all my work. Yes, so like my work, my laptop, and my second monitor is on that side. I do not work at this station. This is only my live streaming station. Michael, the best hub. So we use the Caldigit TS3. The new TS4 just came out. However, you can't really get it. The desk is, yes, I love this desk. It's a standing desk. That way I can be much more energetic during the stream. And it was custom made. And yeah, so I've got some updates. And Jason, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you. I don't have alerts yet. I don't have a lot of things yet. Like I said, it's still rough. We're still working on the studio. Okay, so let me I moved my computer. Hold on. Let me get questions up and running. Are y'all hearing notifications? You should not be hearing notifications. I don't have any notifications on. Unless it's Callie. I don't have notifications. Okay. I just muted my computer. Maybe it was that. All right. Let's see. Questions. I was on the fence about the TS3 because of the power delivery. It's a really great choice. We just haven't, honestly, we have not messed with settings or much of anything because right now we're just trying to get it built. I have very little time right now because of everything going on in the business. And so, right, we're doing it as quickly as we can, but yeah, we'll have updates, you know, like next week. We should be able to finish it out, hopefully. Mike, how are you fixing everything to the wall of the desk back there? Velcro strips. double-sided Velcro strips, except the Caldigit is rigid or ridged. It has those like ridges, so it won't stick to that. So we have to craft a solution for that. But yeah, we'll get there. The curved monitors are a Samsung. All the monitors here are Samsung. And we'll get a new updated gear list as soon as we're done with the studio, to you guys. But it was a Black Friday deal that I got. Good morning. Okay. Biggest highlight from the summit. Oh gosh. That's a biggest highlight from the summit. There were so many. It was so amazing and so successful from your guys' perspective, right? And I think that the biggest highlight for me, the biggest takeaway was that everything became, oh, and by the way, my mic isn't actually like pointing directly at me, so look, we're still working on everything. Not perfect. But yeah, so I think the reaction of the community, the reaction of the speakers, and how everybody came together, and it was a really vulnerable event. It was a human event. It wasn't just about strategies, and it wasn't just about, content creation. I felt like as a whole, the event was really on par with my Uniquely You philosophy, and being human and being vulnerable and just speaking from the heart. And I thought that between me, the community, and the speakers, we all kind of came in from that perspective. And that was planned to an extent, but it wasn't really spoken about, right? So it was just kind of organic, and it was amazing and magical. Okay, we have lots of questions. Hello, Sally, 5 a.m. Good morning. I hope you have your coffee. All right. The new Stream Deck or the new Elgato stuff, Stream Deck pedal I have in my hands. So we'll be doing a video about that soon. The Elgato Lights, they released some new mini lights that are $100 US. And so those will, if I can get my hands on those, we'll do something about those. And I would say that those are probably going to be best for a specific use case, and not necessarily most of you will want those mini lights. So just heads up on that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Question from Mike Quinn. Hold on, My computer is way too far from me. I have to figure out where to put my computer in this setup now. What do you use for credit roll at the end of Friday shows? So we don't have that loaded in today. So that will be next week for those of you who haven't sent it. But what that is basically a video. It's a video that we bring in and have transparency on. So it is created as a movie file. And so then we just load that in. So that has the updated members list, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, let's see. Mike, I do a weekly live. Channel is about microgreens and urban farming. What is the best way to start the stream? Just go into Q&A or do some teaching at the start? So Mike, I have, if you want to watch the video that I did fairly recently about how we increased our retention rates, I go over some different show flow ideas for you. It depends on what your end goal is. If your end goal is for that video to be a community builder like this video, right? Like these Friday live streams, we're hanging out, we're having a casual conversation, we're answering questions, and there's no teaching moment, right? Like there are lots of little teaching moments because I'm answering questions, but typically we have another type of show flow that we do where we actually teach, and then that video gets repurposed or chopped down to be able to be a really solid video, recorded video essentially, that people can find and like or watch. So it depends on the goal. you need to identify the goal for that video, and you can have a couple of different options based on what you're trying to accomplish. So, you know, if you're going to just focus on community, then you can do something like this that you're seeing here. If you're going to focus on education, then the quick look at that could be two different things. One, you open it up, you just hang out, chatter if you have people showing up live, and then you go into your core content, and then you do Q&A afterwards or something like that. Again, just chatter, hang out. Or you can structure it where it's like, okay, we open it up, we get directly into the content for the replay purpose, and then you kind of segment it out so that you have engagement built in between different value-oriented segments. So lots of ways to structure it. It depends on the outcome that you're looking for. I know, I do feel like I don't see you guys much right now because it's been so, I've been on vacation and then like all of the things. So yeah, it's good to be kind of just hanging out with you guys again. All right. Was that an agreement from you, Callie?
Yeah. It does feel like we haven't done this in so long.
I know, it really does. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you enjoyed the EYR event. By the way, the replays are up and out. So if you did not get a ticket to expand your reach, we had 30 different speakers, and there was all about increasing your audience and increasing your revenue in 2022 through video content on various platforms. Amazing sessions. The people watching the replays right now just keep telling us like how amazing the replays are. And it's an entirely different viewing experience than the live stream was. And so, you know, we made it as good as possible for just a replay experience. So if you want to get the replay tickets, those are available. We'll drop the link in there. All right. Okay. Third question. I don't know what number we're on. What are we on? Mitchie, what are your thoughts about, I just answered the new mini, the thoughts about the Elgato Lights. Michael I answered that question. Is this the desk that I'm working from? Yes, if you didn't hear that. This section of the desk is not where I work. That section of the desk is where I work. But these computers, these two Mac Minis that you saw on the behind the scenes, not for other work other than streaming. And that's a really important piece of streaming. It doesn't have to be where you start, but ultimately you want to get to a place where you have a dedicated machine. You do not want to be trying to, if you're anything like me, and you are really hard on your computer because you open about 57 tabs on a daily basis or more, and you never close anything. If you're like me, you do not want all of those apps and all of those windows running, and you're trying to stream, right? So you got to start from a blank slate in order to, stream from your computer every single time. Oh, okay. A good suggestion. Rewatch Roberto Blake's section. Do it several times. He's awesome. His advice is worth it. His tips are on point. Thank you for that suggestion. I would love for you guys to tell us which session was your favorite. That way people buying the replays are like, okay, I know which ones I have got to prioritize. Brian, hello. Welcome. If you are asking questions, or if you're new around here, please do type Q in front of your question. That way it makes sure it gets into my queue, because we do have a lot of questions that come through, and I want to make sure I see all of them. So those are being gathered up for me. That's amazing. Wait, hold on. Launching my new channel this week thanks to EYR community. Woo woo! Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. I know. I don't know why I delivered it so low. Usually it's a lot more, but so you are like me is what you're saying. And yeah, you definitely want to have your what was I trying to say? I totally got distracted there. Do you know?
you remember what you had for breakfast?
I didn't have breakfast. I'm hungry. Oh, that's a good question. Where is Sammy? Sammy isn't here?
Yeah, he's probably napping.
Oh, come on.
Wait, this is the first. I have to tell him.
Let's see. Good morning, Matthew. I'm having a hard time being creative for a background for my live stream studio for my band. Okay. So I have a video and a PDF guide, which I saw Paul Dixon post the link to the PDF guide in the chat room. Thank you for that, Paul. But essentially, you know, when you're thinking about your background, I give you 5 different ways that you can approach a background. And so that'll get your creative juices flowing. We give you the PDF so that you have all of the different ideas to kind of pull from and start that process. At the end of the day, when it comes to creating your background, you are going to change it. It's not going to start off perfectly, so don't expect it to. It's going to grow over time. As you can see, we've added more plants.
Over time.
And you know, we've changed the camera angle. I have some other things I'm changing soon in my background, right? And so like, it's a never-ending process, really. Because most people, once they get that creative juice going, it just kind of keeps going. And so I want you to be aware of that and not put too much pressure on yourself, right? So just get started with something that feels like a little complete, and then you can just add to it and adjust it as time goes on. Oh, thank you so much. This place is looking perfect. Awesome. But there's one thing I'm going to be changing. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I haven't bought it yet. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to a potential change coming soon. Okay, let's see. Next question. Well, Aperture, usually I'm at an Aperture of 1.4. Because the background isn't as blurry as normal, I'm assuming that we didn't even look at we adjusted cameras and we have everything is in flux right now. So I can't really see it from here, but it's not at 1.4 right now. I can tell you that. So I just need to make that adjustment. We haven't really fine-tuned anything in the studio yet. If you missed the behind the scenes at the beginning of this stream, you can go back and watch it. But yeah, so usually I like it at 1.4. Oh, and by the way, I did put, you saw the 2 prompters. I have the ECAMM prompter over there on that other camera. And this is a new prompter, the Glide Gear. And I got a new monitor for that. So the ECAMM that I like so much doesn't work with a 16mm lens, which I have on this camera. The Glide Gear does work with the 16mm. And so I don't have to zoom it in, which is nice. Okay, you like this level of blur? All right, you guys, vote. Vote now. Do I fix it or do I keep it? Vote now or forever hold your peace.
Oh, wait. Oh,
What? What's wrong?
Nothing.
What's wrong, Callie?
I accidentally tried.
She's back there like, oh no. I'm like, what? Oh, geez. Let's see. I don't have my LUT loaded in either. New computer, new everything. I decided to not move anything over and just build it all from scratch because my old ECAMM was a bit of a mess. Because I just kept adding and testing. Because I test a lot. So I'm going to set myself up in this environment to be able to test without losing the structure of the main production. But we also, like the magical Mr. Paul Dixon in the chat room, he's always changing graphics and updating our look and feel and keeping us on the edge of, you know, the future. And so it's kind of a constant process to keep it maintained. So those of you who are just, who are not, those of you who are not doing that kind of thing where you're always playing, adding new things, doing tests and all of that, it doesn't, it's not as hard for you. Okay, let's see.
The poll results are in.
Huh?
The poll results are in.
The poll results, we did a poll. Okay.
If you look in live.
Oh. Does Luria fix it or keep it? Keep 63%, fix 36%. I think it's because they like to see you in the background clearer. You're not as blurry. Clear Cali, blurry Cali, either works. Just no, you have Cali. Oh, why do I have 2 Mac Minis? Sorry, I'm getting back to questions here shortly. Why do I have 2 Mac Minis? So I have 2 Mac Minis because we have a lot of cameras. Oh, we didn't show you all the cameras yet. They're not all hooked up, but I have a behind-the-scenes camera over here. I have a behind-the-scenes camera over here. I have this camera. I have my side camera. I have a Callie camera that's dedicated for her when she's on screen, not back there. But she'll have her own camera for your pocket Callie green screen stuff that we do. What else? Oh, I have an overhead camera up here. So we have a lot of cameras coming in, and I am, even with the M1, I wanted to offload resources a bit, right? And not have everything coming into all of the things. And so we're using the Blackmagic Mini for some of that offloading process. We're using the second camera or second computer for some of that process as well. So it's really just to make sure that I'm not overloading the system with all of these different cameras, but also secondary is the second computer is also my screen sharing computer. So that is being brought into as a second computer to the main machine so that when I'm doing screen shares, demos, tutorial videos, things like that, that's being brought in as a second camera source essentially, as opposed to doing that on the same machine. So, and that really helps from offloading resources, but also just a separation of those two actions. Oh, Sammy's here.
He was taking a nap.
You were taking a nap. Nice. Well, thank you, Sound Bath. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that they're helpful. I've been hearing that all of a sudden, like this past week, I've been getting a lot of video or compliments on the videos and the tutorials that we've been releasing over the last year. So thank you. I'm glad that they're being helpful, and we have a lot more in the works coming up soon. Okay. Pocket Callie, you mean we can get our own Callie to assist? Just so you know, her name is Kali, just so you know, to assist us with our own streams. No.
I'm Callie.
That's Callie. I'm not Callie, that's Callie. But Pocket Callie is when she comes in green screen and she's like, you guys named it Pocket Callie. It's when she pops up in the corner on green screen and she's like a small miniature version of herself.
That sounds weird.
It really sounds weird. When you see it in action, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But
like,
to explain it, it's like
her, but small and
mini Callie.
Pinatas sometimes.
She hits pinatas. She screams. I don't know. Oh, Callie. Wait, hold on. Oh, Callie, like the Indian goddess.
Kalima.
Yeah. There we go. All right. You're all right. Next question comes from, I'm trying to get my place back. Okay, Steve. Hi, Luria. My stream supports educators. How long is too long for an interrupted teaching session or segment? Is there generally a time limit to stick to? Again, it depends on the purpose. If you're hoping to have that content as a piece of core content that gets edited down and is a video on its own, then that you're looking at anywhere from 3 to 12 minutes to 20 minutes at max, probably, right? On YouTube. It depends on the platform as well. But you've got the live experience and you've got the replay experience. So your first decision is to decide what happens after live. These videos, they don't serve a purpose for growing a new audience outside of the core community, right? We do get new people, of course, and we welcome you thoroughly, but it's not going to be like somebody's searching for some topic and they're going to find this video and fall in love. I mean, hopefully they do, but that's not really the purpose of them. The purpose of these Q&As is to have a wonderful casual hangout live experience and to provide a lot of value in the meantime, right? So next question comes from Neek at Night. Which streaming service is easier to, while at the same time having access to all the major social media platforms such as Facebook? Are you asking which streaming service will multicast for you? I think that's what the question is. If not, correct me, please. So the RESTREAM is what I'm using today, right, to go out to both Facebook and YouTube. So RESTREAM allows you to simulcast to multiple different platforms all at once while using your software like ECAMM or vMix or OBS. And so you're sending one signal to them, and then they're doing all of the work and sending that signal out to multiple platforms. Other platform or other services like StreamYard or other browser-based solutions allow you to use their browser-based platform in order to simulcast. But then if you're doing that, you're not really using a level 3 software like ECAMM or vMix or OBS that allow you to have that higher level of production, right? So some things to think about there, but that hopefully answers your question. All right. Whew. Remember, if you're just joining us, ask your question with a Q in front of it. That way it makes its way into my queue. We did a little behind the scenes action at the studio build that is going on here at the beginning. But hey, can we take a quick second to just do for the new people? Sorry. Chop chop. So I'm just going to show you real quick kind of the studio setup right now. It's still massively in the works. We good?
I'm ready.
Okay. And hold on. There we go. So this is a kind of where the studio is. By the way, I didn't even mention the TVs over here. Those serve a purpose. And then we've got the chat monitor, my second screen, or my share screen, my main computer, my workstation over there, multiple cameras, multiple stream decks. We've got the loop deck. We've got the keyboards. We've got 2 mice. It's not going to be complicated to use at all. It's going to be awesome when it's all done.
Is a plural for a computer mouse?
Mice? Yes.
Still?
I think so. Why not?
I don't know. I wasn't sure because it's a different
It should be.
kind of noun.
Should be. Behind you, Gloria.
Mouses.
Mouses? I don't think it could be mouses. I'm pretty sure it's still mice.
Sure.
Okay.
If you're wrong, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
I think you're right.
You always do.
I think you're right.
All right, next question. Stefan. Okay, so it depends, Stefan, on audio routing software, what you're trying to accomplish, right? So like I use Loopback. Everything, there's so many stream blanks, there's so many loop blanks in this industry. We got to have some diversification on our naming structure around here. But anyway, so I use loopback for routing my audio in order to make sure that, and that's a software based, right? We've got the Rodecaster Pro, which is a hardware based mixer. But then you've got audio routing solutions like loopback, which allows you to send the right signal to the right application. For example, if you're bringing in interviews into ECAMM and you want that audio to go into Zoom and broadcast into Zoom, you're going to need loopback for that purpose, right? So there's a few different things that you can do from that perspective. So there are a lot of options on the market. Sometimes it depends on what you're trying to accomplish as in terms of what the best option is for you, but that's the one that I use and love. Okay. Was a good lav mic for church service streaming setup for a small church. So we have a video that goes over church applications for tech. You know, if you're typically in a church setting, you're going to go wireless as opposed to a wired mic, which I would recommend in a studio solution, right? My preference with lav mics and wireless packs is Audio-Technica. So I've used Sennheisers are a great option as well. They're kind of industry standard, but Audio-Technica deals with interference a lot better, in my opinion. So that's what I would recommend, but there are lots of options as well on a lower budget if you're needing that. But again, you might run into some interference option or issues and things like that. So, okay. I love that I always forget to talk about like, hey, like this video, and you guys are always like, hey, you guys aren't liking it enough. I'll just leave it up to you. All right. Let's see. I keep losing my place. Okay, Sammy, you're going to have to forgive me because in January I saw nothing and did nothing other than the things that were our big events, right? And so then I went on vacation, and so I have not seen anything that ECAMM has updated. I know that they have updated quite a bit. I'm getting caught up on that this week. I have a lot to catch up on this week, you know, coming back from the crazy that was the beginning of this year, and then vacation. So you're just gonna have to forgive me. I'm a little out of the loop right this second, but I will get there and I will give you updates starting next week on new ECAMM stuff. I do know that they've been releasing like crazy, which is great. Okay. Okay. So Sean, if you're looking, you're looking for the studio course. We actually have a brand new studio course coming out very soon. I'm not going to tell you the date, but that is partially out the door already, and we have that finishing up very, very soon. So I would say, you know, that is going to outdo, you know, what you've got available to you right now. However, you could get started right there and then get yourself into Streamer Accelerator to ask questions, and we can make sure that you get the new version of that if you're going ahead and grabbing that now. But what that new version is a 3-step process, and you're going to go through a series of exercises in order to understand what you need for your studio, and we even show you how to actually build everything out, which is going to be amazing. And when you get your hands on this, and so I'm really looking forward to this new version that's coming out very, very soon. So we'll fill you in if you're on our list. Hold on. Sorry, I've got a little net. If you're on our list, we'll be letting you know when that's out. So keep updated for sure. All right. how do you get rolling text from Res? So rolling depends on the software that you're using. So are you using ECAMM or vMix or what? Because it's going to be different. On ECAMM, I can show you that. We just go into, hold on. So on ECAMM, you're just gonna go into the overlays, new text overlay, and add this, and then you say scrolling ticker right here. And then your text, whatever text you put in here, is going to scroll across the screen. I'm assuming that's what you mean. If that is ECAMM that you're using, that's just how you do it. Super, super simple. All right. Kevin, for doing interviews, do you recommend using StreamYard to record it and then post it there later? Hold on. And then post it later. My daughter doesn't want to do live interviews, but record and then put on YouTube. You could record that through StreamYard, you could record it through Wave, you could record it through ECAMM, you could record it through vMix. Depends on how much, so some people don't like live because they don't want to have to deal with the live experience, right? The thinking on the fly and messing up, and they want to be able to edit it later. If that's the reason, then what you could do is actually record it live to drive. Meaning you still throw up the lower thirds, you still put up visual assets or anything like that. If it's a podcast, you probably don't have a lot of visual assets, right? But I don't know if it's a podcast or not. So it depends on how she wants to kind of go about that. You could record through Zoom, but I wouldn't recommend it because of the quality issue. So, you're gonna get the highest possible quality from a level 3 software like ECAMM, vMix, and those are our recommendations on Mac and PC. But StreamYard, Wave, RESTREAM Studio, all of those are browser-based, what we call level 2 service, and that is going to be super, super easy to get started, and it's just not going to offer you all of the capabilities that a level 3 software does. So you just need to decide what is it you need now, what level of quality do you need a bunch of different assets to add on to it or not, right? So with just some things to think about it. Okay. Mitchie, is Callie using ECAMM on mobile? No, she was using the NDI app. We were setting up fairly quickly this morning, and that's what we had. ECAMM, I had taken off of the phone. So so ECAMM, Camo, NDI, all good options for bringing that in. Now, NDI has traditionally just in this studio, I've had a lot of problems with NDI. So I'll work on fixing that, but that's why you were seeing some of that jittery experience. Sean, you were great. Love you. Thank you. Oh, I answered you already. Okay. 100 watts in a wire. How do you think all of the screens will affect your lighting? I struggle with monitoring lights. You can go into dark mode. So what you're referring to is the brightness that's coming off of it. I intentionally chose non-bright monitors, right? I don't want the brightest monitor on the market, right? Things like that. But you can lower the display brightness. You can go into dark mode, which will help with some of that. And so you'll see, it's not really because I don't even have this. See how if I'm lowering my brightness, you can actually see that affecting my lighting from my laptop. So you just need to think through those things and see what is what is affecting your video and what is not. Once you get your monitors set, then you set your lights, and that shouldn't really change except for when you're screen sharing and you've got a big white window coming in. But then you can go into dark mode and that will help with that brightness. What's the word I'm looking for?
Fun, amazing, incredible.
Overlap. I was wanting to say overlay, but I was like, that's not the right word. Will I ever buy a top-of-the-line massage chair for Callie to sit in? Or would I rather have her sit on the floor all the time? That is her choice, by the way. She likes to sit on the floor.
I can sprawl.
That is not me being cruel. That is her choice. All right, next question. Do you ever run into problems with interference, Big Jai TV says, because of the different cables being near to each other? You've got to be careful not to cross audio and power cables, for example, right? Some when you cross cables with power, that can cause problems, especially audio cables like XLR with the power. So you want to make sure that you're separating those out. Again, half the stuff you see right now behind there with all of those wires, it's like pre-wired but not set up yet. And so once we do cable management, obviously we'll do cable management once everything is done. But you just need to be thoughtful about that. But no, typically, as long as you're not crossing those wires, you should be okay. Callie is a pixie, yes. Ray, is it ReStream or StreamYard? I'm using ReStream, but I don't think StreamYard has the RTMP setting. I don't know what RTMN is what you said, but I'm thinking RTMP. So StreamYard does have RTMP. In terms of which one, I like both of them. You okay over there? I love the look and feel of the ReStream Studio application. StreamYard they're both kind of on par with each other in most ways. We have a video that compares both of them, pros and cons, that is really popular, that people love, and has helped them make the decisions. Now, I will say this, that video is out of date because both ReStream and StreamYard have released a ton of new features. And so we're gonna redo that video very soon, but at least that could help you kind of start to make a decision for yourself, right? And so like there are certain things like certain features that might affect your decision based on what's there and what's not on either platform. Now, I will also say we have a video coming out soon about Wave, which is a new browser-based streaming option that has some capabilities that go even beyond ReStream and StreamYard at this point. So I'm really looking forward to digging into that platform. So we'll do a comparison on all of them so you can understand the differences. But yeah, we have that one comparison that's out now that will at least help get you started. Okay. All right. Come on. I have product boxes in my background shelf. Does it cause copyright issues? I have not yet gotten any until now. Just a question for future videos. Technically, it could possibly, but it's not really going to. Like, it's not the kind of thing somebody is going to come after you for. Where you'll probably hit most potential copyright issue is like Disney character in the back or something like that. But even Disney isn't doing anything about like the visuals of those things in the background. So I do not know the answer to that, Daniel. Oh, yes. So I have, gosh, you guys, the mixer is tough to get. It keeps going out of stock. Immediately as it's in stock, it's out of stock. So I've had a hard time getting that. The mic arrives on Monday, I believe. And so the Beacon mic and mixer, definitely we will be doing videos about that, but I'm just waiting on it to arrive. Come on. And then the mixer, as soon as I can get my hands on it, I will. All right. Oh, there was another part of that question. Oh, I'm not going to answer that until I have them in my hands, to be honest. So I don't want to lead you awry. I know that's the other thing is the Beacon is Windows only, but we'll hopefully it'll get there soon. Come on, Mac support. All right. Okay, so Manifest, thinking of buying the Elgato Facecam. Do you have any thoughts? Need a top tier webcam. I have a Canon Rebel that I can pair with a Cam Link, but I don't know. Okay, so my thoughts on the Facecam. I think it's a spectacular webcam. However, there have been some issues. I do love the look of it. There have been some consistent issues across the board from customers. My latest, the latest I heard, they fixed those issues, but that might be something that you want to go to support and ask. If you already have the Facecam and you have experienced issues, go to support and ask for what the fix is. Maybe it may just be a firmware update at this point, but I do need to, after coming back into the mix of things, I need to go back and follow up with that. The second thing I will say is, well, two more things on this topic. One, there is a webcam that I have coming to me soon that I am very interested in. And so my recommendation may change soon. I can't tell you much more than that. Third thing I will say is if you want to wait on that recommendation to see if it's going to outweigh the other cameras on the market, then you could use your phone as a camera and just bring that in as that second camera that you're looking for now, right? So that's an option. Yes, we did a video on the Facecam, and that's on the channel. Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of people who still use the webcam for the portability, for the simplicity, for not having to, have that extra budget, which is totally acceptable. It just depends on what your desire is, and whether you think that you're going to increase that over time. That's totally acceptable, right? Some people, don't care as much about quality as we do around here. We like to really push the limits of quality, but and I will say that the professionalism of a high quality video can really increase results in certain ways. For example, that creates that instant credibility that people are looking for. So depending on the content that you're putting out there, that may actually serve you really well. We've had students close $100,000 contracts having nothing to do with video creation or live streaming, just because they had a professional setup. So that can actually make a big difference. However, starting where you're starting and doing what you need to do in right here and now for your sanity is perfectly acceptable, right? You can always upgrade over time. Okay, what? Why do you do this to me?
Sorry. I'm so used to it. Because I make so many sound effects to myself.
She's like freaking out back there. Okay, Jeffrey, I have a green screen that I placed behind me. It does not cover 100% of the width of view from my iMac camera. Is there a way to adjust it so it constrains? So I don't show more of the sides. So that's all in the cropping. So whatever software you're using, or even, I don't know what camera you're using. Oh, the iMac camera, right. So in your software, if you're using something like ECAMM, you can actually go in and just zoom that in. So crop it out. That way you're controlling that a bit more. Okay, John says, oh, I already answered that question. That was about Callie. Callie's chair. Any tips on selecting a camera? On one section, it's too tiny, close, the other so wide it shows the wall beside backdrop. Are there cams where I can adjust the zoom and wide angle? Yes. So I don't know what kind of are you looking for a webcam? If you are, all webcams have software that you can again zoom in or adjust that angle. If you're going for a DSLR mirrorless camera like the camera that I'm using right now, the Sony ZV-E10 is what I'm using. I have a 16mm lens. What you can do is either crop that in software. You do tend to lose a little bit of quality there unless you're going out in 4K. But what you can also do is get a zoom lens, and that will allow you to play with and adjust your camera. It sounds like you're maybe moving between a couple of different locations is what I'm kind of reading into that. And so if that's the case, you might want, like, a zoom lens might be beneficial to you in order to get the right look at the right time. But if you're not, if you're just, static, then, not having a zoom lens, getting just the right lens for you. And by the way, we do have videos on the right camera and lens choice. And so we'll link to those on this YouTube channel. All right. Christian, no, it's not a new lens, it's a new angle. That's why it's looking wider angle, is that the angle is different. And so you see a lot more of kind of the background. We're still playing with the angle and everything, but people, like you guys have said a lot. I've just done a couple of streams from this angle, and the majority of you, and I still have like headroom, too much headroom and stuff. So we're playing with the camera angle and the height adjustment and everything because it's sitting right on top of my monitor. So we still have some stuff to fix, but I am further as well from the camera, and that's why this angle is looking that way. But yeah, so a lot of you are saying that you love this new angle, seeing a bit of the desk and stuff. So let us know. Poll time! Oh no, the ZV-E10 definitely, it's across the board for Sony with availability. Honestly, the tech space right now with all of this gear is really hardcore. Like, ever since the pandemic hit, and this year it's actually getting, or like the past 6 months or so, it seems to be even getting worse, is the availability for things and the supply chain and all of that has been a little difficult for everybody. So it's not just you. Okay, next question. Okay, so Soundbath is basically wondering if the Pro option for ECAMM is worth it for the virtual webcam feature. In my opinion, abso-freaking-lutely, because, I mean, again, what are your use cases? How are you streaming? Are you sending your video into any webinar software, into Zoom, into presentation software? Like, I do a lot of video that I have to send a high quality production into a lot of different types of applications. So for me, that answer is 1000% yes. It is so worth it. However, if you're never doing any of that, then no, it's not worth it, right? So what are your outputs? What are your use cases? You need to identify those things in order to make the right purchasing decision for you. Hopefully that helps. All right, you guys, we don't have credits today. My apologies. Like I said, nothing's right, nothing's perfect, nothing's set up. We're still really raw around here, but we will get there. I think by next week we'll be pretty solid. So I'm looking forward to that. Now you need a glass top desk so you can draw on it with an overhead camera. Seriously, right? I used to have a whiteboard desk. Oh, I loved that whiteboard desk.
Cool.
That was really cool. I miss it. I miss my whiteboard desk, but that's okay. I have like 5 different whiteboards in this place anyway, so whatever. I can deal. Okay, so we don't have credits, so Callie's going to read the member names out loud.
Yeah, one by one. It'll be like graduation, like a graduation ceremony.
Yeah, totally. She's not going to do that because we have so many members. But thank you all so much for being members. We're going to get back into a routine around here, having come out of EYR and all of the craziness that has been going on around this brand. And thank you so much for being here with us and for being a member. I'm looking forward to some new member stuff coming your way. So let's see. We have some music. We can play some music. All right, you guys, put your dancing shoes on. And we will see you Tuesday. I'm actually going to be streaming on Tuesday. I think it's a different time. Pay attention to social. If you're not on Twitter, follow me on Twitter and pay attention to my social because we will announce the date and time on that. We've got a fun stream for you coming up on Tuesday. So, okay, thank you guys so much. Put those dancing shoes on and we will see you then. Bye.